Hello and welcome to The Magic Detective. I'm your host, Dean Carnegie, and tonight it gets creepy. We're actually going to be exploring some graves that belong to long-dead magicians, and three in particular. The first one up tonight, it belongs to a female magician named Eva Fay. Now, during her lifetime, she was the most prominent stage medium in the country. You're probably wondering, stage medium, what does that mean? Stage medium, stage small, stage... No. A medium is someone who claims that they can talk to the dead, and the dead can actually talk back to them, and they can hear it. That's what a medium is supposed to be able to do. A stage medium, therefore, is someone that does it in a theatrical version. She became quite wealthy from her career, and in the latter days of her career, she retired in Melrose, Massachusetts. And one day, a magician by the name of Harry Houdini came by to visit her and had a little chat. And from what I understand, that visit was filmed. And apparently that film is lost today, so we don't have the footage of Harry's visit with Eva Fay. But what we do have is my visit to Eva Fay's grave, which is also in Melrose, Massachusetts at the Wyoming Cemetery. There's a mausoleum there for her family, and this picture is me standing outside the grave. Now, the cool thing about this grave is there are two doors, which are always locked, by the way, but the doors do have a window on them, and you can look through the window and see something very cool inside. There's a pedestal, and sitting on top of the pedestal is a marble bust of Eva Fay. Now, I saw this, I thought it was very cool. I took a photograph of it, and unfortunately, the photos did not turn out very well. However, I was contacted a short time after my visit to the area by the family, the descendants of Eva Fay, and they were kind enough to send me some photographs of the bust there inside the mausoleum. So for the first time, I believe the first time on the internet, you're going to be able to see this really cool bust of Eva Fay that's inside the mausoleum. So check it out. And one cool thing that the family does, different seasons throughout the year, they like to have a little fun with the bust, so they dress her up in different costumes. So here's a couple of the different costumes that the family puts on. And I'm sure somebody visiting the cemetery, if they happen to look inside, are going to get quite a surprise. But that's pretty cool. And that's Eva Fay. Next up, we have someone that is involved in magic history, but is not a magician per se. Her name was Mina Stinson Crandon, and we all know her as Margery the Medium. She was the medium that battled with Harry Houdini towards the end of his life. I did not have an opportunity to stop by to see her grave. I actually forgot when I was in Boston. But a friend of mine, escape artist Norman Bigelow, did visit her grave and did take a photograph, and I have that photograph to show you right now. And if you look really close at that photograph, you'll see the reflection of Norm as he's taking the photo. So that is the grave of Margery the Medium. Finally, we have one more magician, and this fellow is, he's very interesting. His name was Robert Heller, and that was his stage name. His real name was William Henry Palmer. He was from England, and he was one of the most famous magicians in America during his time. His time was like around the 1850s to the 1870s, I believe. During his final tour, he had just left Washington to head to Philadelphia, and he had contracted what he thought was a cold. Well, it turned out to be pneumonia, and he died in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just a few short days after he arrived. He was buried in one cemetery, but apparently his grave was moved to a different cemetery. And then around 1911, Harry Houdini went to Philadelphia, and he wanted to look up the grave of Robert Heller, and he couldn't find it, and he searched, and eventually he rediscovered where the grave is. So thanks to Houdini, we now know where that grave is. There's only one problem. It's in a cemetery that's been abandoned. The cemetery is called the Mount Moriah Cemetery in Philadelphia. Right now, today, there's a group called the Friends of Mount Moriah. They're working their best, it's on a volunteer basis, to clean up that cemetery. But the area that Robert Heller is buried is all overgrown with vines and trees, and you can't even get to his grave. So what I'm going to show you is a picture of Houdini standing by Heller's grave. And just to give you an idea of what it looks like today, I'm going to show you this photo here. Take a look. So I'm told amongst all that foliage and all those trees and bushes is the grave of Robert Heller. Unfortunately, it's impossible to get to, so eventually it'll get cleared out enough where perhaps a group of volunteer magicians can go over there and really clean it up and get his grave back to the way it really should be looking. But we don't have time for that tonight because that's the end of our show. And I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Dean Carnegie. I am the host of the Magic Detective Show. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about magic history, you can go on my website, which is themagicdetective.com. And otherwise, we'll see you here again soon. Have a great week. Bye-bye.